Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and the Matrix franchise is one that is sorted. I would say it's got one really good entry. It's got a couple okay entries. It's got a couple okay video games, and honestly, the Animatrix is pretty damn awesome. I don't really care who you are, but the soundtrack for everything is pretty great. Never had a problem with the soundtrack at all when dealing with these films. So the Matrix, it's been a long time. It's been over 15 years since the Revolutions came and hit theaters. It's been over 15 years since Keanu Reeves last played Neo. And of course, the ending of that was, well, Neo kicked the bucket. Sorry, spoiler alert, it's been 15 and a half years. I think at this point you probably have seen it. So when talking about the potential of the next film, this is something that popped up yesterday. Discussingfilm.net, which is a website I've never heard of before, and I really wanted to take a look into this here. I'm not kidding you. This is their similar web analytics page, showing that at least in May 2019, they've got so little traffic that it doesn't even register on the web. Now, that's not saying that they're not, that they don't know what they're doing. That's not saying anything. That's simply saying that these guys are a smaller website, so I wanted to take it with a grain of salt. But it's saying here that the Wachowskis are set to return to direct Michael B. Jordan's Matrix film, eyeing early 2020 production start. Now, Michael B. Jordan starring in a Matrix movie is one that I'm not going to lie, doesn't interest me. I like Michael B. Jordan as an actor. I think he can do a lot of things. I think he's very varied in regards to his acting, but this is a kind of story that I don't really think is going to be up to his abilities. It all really depends ultimately on how it's written, but in regards to how the Wachowskis directed Channing Tatum in Jupiter Ascending, you got to play to the strengths, and that was not the strength. Now, it says here, last month, Chad Stahelski said Yahoo Movies that the Wachowskis will be returning in some format to the new Matrix film. He told the outlet, "I'm super happy that the Wachowskis are not just doing a Matrix, but that they're expanding what we all loved. And if it's anywhere near the level of what they've already done, it wouldn't take more than a call to go, hey, we want you to be a stunt guy. And I would probably go get hit by a car." And that got a lot of people talking about it. I know I covered it. A lot of people out there super excited about the potential for another Matrix movie. Warner Brothers is not going to Comic-Con this year, so there's a lot up in the air in regards to their potential announcements. We know that they've got a full slate. We know that they've just been bought by AT&T, and we know that AT&T is definitely trying to find a way to make Warner Brothers great again, and in that probably comes with a reboot of The Matrix, because it is a beloved 20-year-old property that is somewhat ripe for rebooting, even though what fans want, I'm just going to be honest here, what fans want is just the movie to be re-released in theaters for like the 20th anniversary, which was like 3 months ago, and you failed on that one, Warner's. Anyway, now Slash Film has since reported that the comment is inaccurate and taken out of context, but these guys discussing film still says that they heard that a new Matrix movie is happening and the Wachowskis are set to return. As previously reported by Hollywood Reporter, Zak Penn will write the screenplay and Michael B. Jordan will star. They've also heard that the Wachowskis will return to direct, and that production will begin early 2020 in Chicago, since they've been prepping the film under the working title Project Ice Cream. Plot details are currently under wrap. But it said it's beginning to fill out its crew with Hugh Batup, who was the art director on the 1999's Matrix, as well as being the production designer for the film. And so that's interesting. So Michael B. Jordan, his Outlier Society Productions and Warner's will produce. So it makes me really wonder if this is going to be a reboot, or if this is going to be a sequel, or if it's nothing. Now, the reason why I say that it could potentially be nothing has a lot to do with a couple things. One, shooting the movie stateside feels like it's going to be probably too costly. Shooting it overseas feels like the best bet. So starting in Chicago 2020, again, feels a little bit weird. That is, unless they are going to be shooting the intro of the film in Chicago and then everything else potentially in another country to cut down on the destructive costs. But the reason why I bring up Chicago being a weird one is, well, this article from October of last year, where it says the Wachowskis are closing Chicago production office as they have no projects currently in development. Now, think about that one for a second here. We have this Discussing Film website, which other outlets have picked up on it today. Other outlets have talked about it today, saying that this is what they're hearing. This is what's going to be happening. Starting early production next year in Chicago. The Wachowskis coming on board to direct a script written by Zak Penn. It feels kind of weird that the Wachowskis would not be writing the movie themselves. I'm not saying Zak Penn isn't a talented screenwriter. I think that he is. He's proven himself with the X-Men movies and everything else. And also his TV show Alphas on Sci-Fi that left us with an insanely huge cliffhanger. But there's nothing about this that adds up to me. Nothing about this that potentially adds up. So if this is going to be a Matrix 4, is this going to be talking about what happens after Neo's death, roughly 15 years post Neo's death, or 15, well, at that time, it could be nearly 20 years after Neo's death, and how the Matrix has changed and evolved and adapted to the one having removed the agents and removed the machine. Are humans going to be living in Zion? Are they going to have to go back to the Matrix in order to find something? What exactly is going to be the plot? One of the problems with the story like The Matrix, similar to the story like Terminator, is where do you take it once it's over? It's true. Not everything has a cinematic universe attached to it. And that's kind of where we find ourselves in regards to this particular story. So I don't know how true this is. If you want me to take a wild stab in the dark at it and just kind of give you my take, it ain't real. If I'm being honest with you, it ain't real. I don't think it's real. I think it's fake. I think it's not real news. And because the Wachowskis closing down their Chicago 2020 or closing down their Chicago studio that they've been at for years with no projects currently in development, and scaling everything back, and then them wanting to start producing this movie in Chicago would tell me that they probably would not have then shut down their studio. So I am more than happy for the Wachowskis to come back and direct another Matrix movie. I would love to see what they would do with it 2 decades later, taking what they've learned from certain movies and really reapplying it to this franchise, giving it a fresh coat of paint, if you will. But if I had my choice in like my top of the line fan service Wachowski movie, give me a sequel to Speed Racer. That it's been 11 years and nothing has matched it visually yet. And I feel that was such an underrated cult classic. I would love to see them do another movie with that. But at the same time, the Wachowskis and Warner Brothers don't necessarily have the greatest of track records in recent years, especially after Jupiter Ascending was pushed from a midsummer, 2014 release to a February 2015 release, because it was, they didn't want to lose out in the summer because of how bad that movie was. Never mind Sense8 getting unceremoniously canceled at Netflix after 2 seasons, but then fan demand giving it a series closure. I mean, yeah, they don't have the best track record in recent years, so we'll have to wait and see if this is a win, if this is a real thing or a fake thing. But I look at you, I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions, real, fake. Where do you stand on it? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.